Hey everyone, Brendan here from EarthBites. Today we're going to be looking at our spring seed kit, and I'll show you how to get this set up for day one. So if we open it up, we've got our instructions. We'll need those. We're going to use our containers and our peat pucks, and our seeds. We're going to need corn salad, spinach, and kale, because those are all the ones that are going into the peat pucks. So we can move these out of the way. For our little growing domes here, what we want is the bases for right now. So they're all labeled. You've got base and you've got lids. So we'll take these out, set them out, and we're just going to squeeze all of our pucks in here right now. You'll find they fit a lot better once they get soft and we add the water to them. There we go, just like that. You're also going to want some warm water. And all we're going to do is we're just going to pour the warm water into the tray. You can add more water than you think you need because these are going to suck up a lot of water. We're going to let those sit for about 15 minutes as they suck up the water. Okay, so our peat pots are all expanded now and ready to plant. If we look at our instructions, we see we've got corn salad, kale, and spinach need to go into these. So starting with the corn salad, we're going to need 2 pots for those. So we'll take these 2 right here. And you can see they actually, when they expand, they actually have little holes in them already. So we don't even really need to poke any holes in them. What we're going to do is we're going to measure out. We need 3 seeds for each one of the pots, okay? So here's our corn salad seeds. I'm going to take 3 seeds. 1, 2, 3. Just drop them in. And if you gently pinch, push a little bit of the soil back over top, you can cover it up. We'll do that again with our next one. Next, we're going to do our kale. Now, kale is a little bit trickier because the seeds are quite a bit smaller and being round, they like to roll all over the place. So we're going to do 9 kale. So we've got 8 can fit in one tray very easily, and we'll use one of these extras that we've got in the corn salad tray over here. And with the kale, we can see again, it's 3 seeds in each one. So we're going to measure out 3 little seeds. Again, you likely won't have to poke a hole because the hole is in there. And because kale seeds are so small, we don't want a very deep hole anyways. I usually say about half a fingernail deep. And we'll plant out our kale the same way we did our corn salad. 3 seeds in each hole. Okay, so now we'll do our spinach. If you do have some of the pots that you're finding do need the holes, it's really easy. Just with your pinky finger, just poke the holes back in it. Spinach is a larger seed again, so we're gonna do 3 seeds each for these. Now we are giving you extra seeds in each one because we want to make sure that we give you the best success rate at these. We're not going to need 3 plants in each pot at the end. And we'll show you in an upcoming video how to deal with the extra plants if all of these seeds actually grow. Okay, so now that we've got all our seeds planted, we can go ahead and put the lids on. And once we've got our lids on, we'll move these to a nice sunny location. Ideally, if you've got a south-facing window, that's great, but if not, just find a window or an area with a nice bright light that you can put them under. Okay, so we want to be checking on our plants every day, open them up, let them air out. You can have a nice little chat with them. And check to make sure that the pots are still nice and moist. If you need to, you can add a little bit of water. You want to add about 1 centimeter of water into the tray. Avoid watering on the plants directly. We want to water into the tray. If they're drying out on you, add a little bit more water more frequently. You'll probably only need to water every 2 or 3 days with these. You don't want them to stay soaking wet all the time. You also want to rotate the tray around 90 degrees every day because they're constantly going to be growing towards the light. So that's going to help strengthen the plants as well as they grow. All right, so we're outside at our garden now. We're going to get it ready to take our transplants in a few weeks, but also to add some of the seeds that we need to get going today. Just to get it ready, we're going to need a hand trowel, of course, and then I like to use a ruler, but you could use a tape measure or something for plotting out our sort of grid space, our square foot space that we're going to be wanting to grow in. We're also going to need our soil amender. You could use a organic veggie and herb mix of some sort, or a compost mix, or if you've got compost at your house, you could use that as well. So I'm just laying on the amender here over top of the soil that I already have in the garden. I want to get it about an inch thick before I start working it in. Once we've got it all laid out, we can just start working it in really gently with our existing soil. Until you get the whole thing nicely mixed together. Okay, so now that we've got our soil amended here, we're going to look at our little garden plan and we're going to create our little grid. So you've got your plan here, and the thing you want to do now is figure out as best as you can which way is going to be north. So here for me, north is right behind me. That means this end over here is going to get the most sunlight. So here's where I use the ruler to mark out my grid. One ruler, 30 centimeters or a foot long basically. So I'm just going to measure out here. We'll go like this. And we just work our way along until we've got all 6 square foot marked out. Now you can rope this off if you want, or just keep a ruler handy if you need to measure it out again, but I find once I've got it laid out the first time, I'm pretty good to go for the rest of it. There we go, our 6 square feet. All right, so we'll start with our peas. That's the easiest one. If we look at our plan, it says peas are going to go on the north side. So we're going to fit 4 peas per square. So we're going to sort of measure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're making our holes just about fingernail deep. I know I'm wearing gloves, it's harder to see, but just about fingernail deep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to put 1 seed in each hole and cover it up. So that's it for day 1. Now we've got our peas planted, we've got our transplants inside. The rest of the space is going to be for those transplants or some of the seeds that we're going to plant in 2 weeks, which we'll show you in this video as well. The rest of the seeds will be planted, like the radish. You could do that on day 15 or you could do it in day 28. We're going to do it in day 28. But we're just going to water our peas in as a final step, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what the next seeds are. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do day 15 right now. You're going to want to wait until closer to day 15 to actually do this, just so the timing of your plants and when they all mature works out properly for your recipe. But if we just take a quick look at our plan, we've planted our peas. So peas are going to be here. That means these right here, these spaces right here are going to be for the kale. And then we're going to have a row of arugula. So we can get that planted today. Going from the arugula, we've got spinach here, mustards, which we'll be planting today, and spinach again. Over here in this one, spinach, mustard, spinach, and here we'll have the corn salad, which is inside in the transplant pots, and we'll do some radishes. We're working our way from tall to short, as that way we're not blocking any of the southern sunlight with, say, tall peas on this side. That's why we want to orient this way. Okay, so we'll start with our arugula. You can do this a couple of different ways. In each square, you've got space for 3 different plants. So if you want to make a row and plant them 1 inch apart, you can do that. Or you can even just decide where your plants are going to be. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3. And we'll make a little hole in the middle of each one. These ones should be about half a fingernail deep, really, to be honest, because the seeds are so small. And we're going to put 3 seeds in each one. 3 to 4. If you drop a few extra in there, it's no big deal. We'll thin them out later on. And we'll cover those up. Continue all the way along with our next squares. Okay, so last one we're going to do today is our mustard greens. So in the south squares in our garden, we've got spinach in these ends, and we're going to do a row of mustard basically right down the middle and right down the middle with here. So just like I did with the arugulas, you could say, okay, mustard, mustard, mustard. I'm going to show you the other way of doing this, and you can do these with either your mustard or your arugulas. And that's, we're just going to make a little small trench about 1/4 of an inch deep, because these seeds are very tiny. And we're going to spread them out so we get a few seeds about every inch along. And what we'll do is we'll thin these out so that there's only 3 good plants left in the end, but we'll take the best plants that we can get. We'll cover those up. And we'll repeat it again in this square over here. So we're watering these in order to make sure that the seeds germinate properly. Seeds need soil, water, and sun in order to germinate. So we'll get some water in there and just keep an eye on them, make sure they don't dry out too much, especially once the seedlings start. You should see seedlings starting to grow in about 10 to 14 days from now. Don't worry about doing any of the thinning. We'll come back in about 3-4 weeks. You can worry about that. On day 28, that'll be the best time for you to do your thinning. We're going to come back and do our radishes as well on day 28. The plan says to do them day 15. You can do them then if you want, or you can wait until we come back and do ours on day 28.